Okay, let us start without wasting much time. Yeah, I'm going to the next concept, which also falls under the basics of MATLAB only, because we have covered till the control statements as well as the loops. So the next part is understanding the inbuilt functions available in the MATLAB, so that how we can solve our equations. Our equations may be linear equations, or a system of linear equations, or non-linear equations, or differential equations, or partial differential equations. How do we attempt to solve in MATLAB? Because in MATLAB there are so many input functions already predefined. So if you know how to use that predefined input functions, it's always better. We can replace the functions available and we can solve it. Very simple. Another way is we can define our own function. That's called user-defined functions. So let us understand first the predefined functions, that is inbuilt defined functions available in MATLAB. Then we will go for our own definition of functions. That's called user-defined functions. User means who are using the MATLAB code. So user-defined functions we will discuss later. Okay. So few of the functions which are essential to solve the equations I am keeping in the slides. Not all, because I already told there are many input functions available. I listed out also. In some of the slides I listed out. There are so many functions available, but I am keeping only very few which are useful to solve the solution of equations. So that equations may be linear, non-linear, or system of linear, or differential, or partial differential equations. Okay. Let's see the first function. The first function is roots. ROOTS. So ROOTS, roots of parenthesis, the variable, returns a column vector whose elements are the roots of the polynomial. Say for example, if a polynomial function is given to you, how to find the roots? So this roots function will give you directly the roots in a column vector fashion. Usually what we do, for example, it's a simple second order equation. Let us say ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0. What are the roots? Minus b plus or minus root over b square minus 4ac by 2a. We know that because in 10th class standard algebraic equation where we can solve the roots. Very simple. But if the polynomial is of 10th order, 12th order, how do you estimate the roots? So a simple way is use ROOTS, roots function, which will give you the column vector of the roots of the given polynomial. Okay, so first function. Next, polyval. That means value of the polynomial at a particular location or a particular variable or a pointer where you want. Polyval returns the value of a polynomial of degree n evaluated at x. What is polyval? The value of the polynomial, maybe if I keep n here, nth order, at a particular value x, this value will be returned. For example, you found something, let's say 2x square minus 3x plus 1 is equal to 0. Very simple equation. For example's sake, I am saying 2x square minus 3x plus 1 equal to 0. So the roots are 1 and 2. Roots are 1 and 2 enough. 2x square minus 3x plus 1 equal to 0.
Minus 1.
Okay, but 2x square plus 3x plus 1 equal to 0. 2x square plus 3x plus 1 equal to 0. 2x square plus 3x plus 1 equal to 0. Okay, let's assume the roots are 1 and 2. For some that equation the roots are 1 and 2. Now what is the polynomial value at root 2? What you do? What is the polynomial function value at root 2? You substitute the root value in that equation. This is the value. This polyval will give them directly. So for a simple equation you can directly substitute and calculate. But a bigger equations, so go for polyval. Okay. Now f0, very important function. So look at f0. F0 of fun comma x0 tries to find a 0 of the function near x0. It finds the 0 of the function. It's almost like finding the root. 0 of the function is finding the root only. What is 0 of the function? Making the function equal to 0. So it's nothing but almost finding the roots of the equation. So f0 is another function which tries to find out the 0 nearest to the root which you have given here. That means it readjusts, it recalculates. What is the value that you given, the guess value, nearer to that guess value, it finds out the 0 of the function. Okay. Now f solve. F solve starts at x0, the initial ones, and tries to solve the system of non-linear equations. When you have a system of non-linear equations, f solve is a very good function to solve the non-linear equations. Okay. So what is the syntax for f solve? F solve function comma x0. That is the guess value which we give to the initial value. And then leave about these two because I'm not going to keep in the syllabus of these two. Leave about least squares. We does not have in the syllabus. Now perhaps the systems are already ready. Yesterday I have installed MATLAB in all of the computers. So probably uh, maybe next Monday onwards I will reallocate all of you the systems because I'm giving the numbers so that everyone will sit in the computer and everyone have a folder to save their documents. Okay. So when you start opening the M files, this is the table. It will open and here are the options available: file, edit, text, etc. And this is called an M file because when you are opening, for example, if you open in a C, there is also a window will come. So we will try to save that file in .c pattern. Any file with .c. Similarly, in MATLAB, we have to save in .m. It's called extension of .m. Any file you save after writing the file name, you save with .m. It's called extension. Similarly, in C, we use .c. For example, I written a program for Fibonacci numbers. In C, I will save that file completely as fib.c. That file will be saved. If you won't give the extension of .c, this file will not be saved in the compiler. Similarly, in MATLAB, when you write a program in a particular window, after completing that, you should give a name to that file and file name ended with the extension .m. So if I write a program for MATLAB in Fibonacci numbers, I will write fib.m. If I won't give that dot extension of m, this file will not be saved in the compiler. And you cannot retrieve back the file which you have saved. Okay. Now you look at the polynomial which I have given here. So ax cube plus bx square plus cx plus d. So if I want to represent this, always MATLAB is an user friendly and it always saves the variables also in the form of vectors. Let's suppose the coefficients written as in the form of a matrix. I tell you, when the program comes, it will be very easy. We'll leave about here. The roots I explained, poly I explained, polyval I explained. So plots we will think of later. Polyfit. This function you can use. Polyfit. Fitting of the polynomial. So polyfit x comma y comma n. Fitting the data of x variables to the y variables for the order n. For example, look at the example. I have given a set of x values in the form of a vector 1, 1.3, 2.4, etc. And then set of y values. And if I use polyfit of this x, y with my own order of 3, means I want to fit this x data and y data for the third order polynomial. Let's assume. If I give 3, if I go with polyfit, I got answer like this. So if I give 3 means what? I'm assuming in my mind polynomial of third order. That means there should be ax cube, bx square, cx, some constant d. So the answer will be x cube coefficient a will be here, x square coefficient b will be here, x coefficient c will be here, and last constant will be d will be here. So what is my polynomial equation if I write the equation for this is for this data? For this data of x, the equation is 0.3124 x cube plus 1.5982 x square minus 7.3925 x minus 1.4759. So that is my complete polynomial equation. Got now? How I am fitting the data? If a data of x variables, data of y variables given, you can fit the polynomial of any order you want. I just given a notion that 3 because I want in the mind this data will be for third order. I given 3. You can give 2, you can give 5, and you can analyze after getting the coefficients answer. Let's look at a problem. I given here one problem. Just look at this problem. Use MATLAB to fit the following vapor pressure versus temperature data. Better you note it. Note this problem. Use MATLAB to fit the following vapor pressure versus temperature data. Vapor pressure versus temperature data in fourth order polynomial. In fourth order polynomial. Then calculate the vapor pressure. Then calculate the vapor pressure when T equal to 100 degrees centigrade. When T equal to 100 degrees centigrade. So he has given a table of temperatures versus vapor pressures. Temperature in degree centigrade and pressure in the kilopascals. Now just note down these temperatures and vapor pressures. And don't see the solution. First understand the problem, we will attempt. So note down. Now let's understand the problem first. He has given vapor pressure versus temperature data. Okay, so this is the temperature. That means when the temperature is minus 37 degrees almost, your pressure is 1 kPa. When temperature is almost minus 2.6 degrees, the pressure is 20 kPa. So like that there are temperatures and vapor pressure data is given. And what he is asking to fit this data in the fourth order polynomial. So this vapor pressure versus temperature should be a fourth order polynomial. And finally is asking a question, estimate the vapor pressure when the temperature is 100 degrees centigrade. See, the temperature is nowhere 100 degrees here. Maybe it stopped at 80 degrees, but he is asking to estimate the vapor pressure at 100 degrees. That means beyond the data what he is given. No, once you fit, you can estimate. Is it not? See, for example, when you fit means what? For x versus y, if you fit, there is a curve. Now, when you have a curve, you can extend the curve. It's called extrapolation. You know, in mathematics, when you know a curve for some period, there is a trend. Then, if you want to estimate for rest of the period, you can extend that extrapolation and you can estimate. That you can do. Fine. So, without doing that, let us use the inbuilt functions available in the MATLAB. How we do? Because I already told, whenever a data is given, you can fit using polyfit function. What is the syntax of polyfit? Let's go back again. Syntax of polyfit is easy. Syntax of polyfit is x comma y comma n. So it fits the x data and y data for the nth order which you give, and these fitted values will be assigned to some variable coefficient, which are maybe variable. Let's say for example, this everything I have kept with some coefficient, some variable. So that coefficients are stored in that assigned to this variable. Now if I run the program, I will get some coefficients. Right? So let's use that concept. You see, so because I want this vapor pressure temperature for the fourth order, I am using polyfit temperature one variable, comma vapor pressure another variable, comma because in the question itself asked for fourth order. So this everything polyfit function I assign to some variable called p. So if I run the program, I will get answers for p. What are the answers for p? The coefficients of the fourth order polynomial. What are the coefficients of the fourth order polynomial? For example, if it is a form ax power 4 plus bx cube plus cx square plus dx plus something e, so all a, b, c, d, e will be given if I run it. Because the order is 4. That means x power 4, x cube, x square, x, some constant. So if I run this one, I got answers like this. So check for these answers. This is x power 4 coefficient. This is x cube coefficient. This is x square coefficient. This is x coefficient. This is constant. So what is my polynomial equation if I write? If I write, for example, in terms of leave about temperature, or in terms of x, if I write, I got ax power 4. So there is no x power 4 coefficient. Bx cube, something value is there, 0.000 something. Cx square, something value is there. Plus dx, okay, something is there. Now you just clearly understand this very clearly. The answer says it's not fourth order polynomial. Why? Because fourth order coefficient is 0. That means the data is well fitted for third order itself. You don't need to go to fourth order because answer for fourth coefficient is 0. So this temperature vapor pressure, you don't need to go for fourth order polynomial. Third order it fits. But look at the value of third order coefficient. It's almost also 0. 0.0004 means what? It's also no need to go for third order polynomial. It says, answer says, just fit for the second order, you will get exact fit of the data. So you may get a polynomial or a parabola type of curve because it's of second order. Because the third order coefficient is almost 0. 0.000. Are you getting or not? So once you fit using this one, you analyze the results. Whether I'm giving the correct one or wrong one. He asked for the fourth order, but once I analyze, I got fourth order coefficient is 0. I got third order coefficient almost 0. But second order coefficient is little bit okay. So that means what? You can go ahead with the second order, at least, approximately. You understood the concept? Now, after getting these things, now your polynomial is ready. Polynomial equation is ready in terms of temperature, vapor pressure. Now, what is the next question he has asked? He has asked you to estimate the vapor pressure when temperature is 100. So, if your curve is known, I told you if a curve is known, you can estimate by extrapolation. That you can do if you know the graph. But instead of that, you have a polynomial function that's called polyval. So what is the syntax for polyval? Go back. You see, polyval. Polyval. That is value of the polynomial. Whichever value you want nearest, that value using that function, you use the polyval. So here I want a temperature 100 degrees. So use it. Use it. I want a temperature 100 degrees. So polyval P, because P is stored in the polyfit function, the coefficient. So P comma 100. So that I kept in something called variable P. So the P has got this. So my vapor pressure at 100 degrees is 1.35 into E means 10 in MATLAB. So 10 power 3. So 10 power 3 means multiply with 1000. So if I multiply with 1000, whatever the value I'll get, that means if I multiply with 1000, 1355. That means almost 1355 data I get for 100 degrees. Clear? So two functions I have used. One is polyfit, another is polyval. Polyfit, very simple syntax. Polyval, very simple syntax. So you can use these for your solving of your engineering problems. Anisha, అర్థమైందా? Now this is the program I given in the exam for our seniors. Simple thermodynamic program. So Redlich-Wang equation. So everyone hands up. One more. Landlar equations. The concept is same, but I visualize in different perspective, and it will be blasted in the exam. I thought you people will do, but you will always be hands up mode. Yeah, later I will start with the user defined, but let us go with the functions available. Still, there are some other functions available. I'll go ahead. Yeah, just look at using F0. I told you already, F0 is finding the zero value of the function. Finding the zero value of the function, almost like a roots of the equation, but nearest to the value which you have given. That is what the meaning of the F0. So what is the syntax? F0, single quoted, what is the function that you are going to use for estimating zero value of the function? Comma, what is the nearest guess you want to find out the zero of the function? That you have to give. Now this is the syntax. Now using that syntax of F0, I am going to use for several solution of equations. How I will go? Just look at this one. Find the zero of the function y of x is equal to x square minus 1. So the function is given. The function is given y of x. That means some function equal to x square minus 1. I want to estimate the zero of the function using m file and function called f0. Very important concept. Understand. ఇక్కడ నుంచి కొంచెం టైట్ అవుతుంటాయి. ఇప్పుడు దా చెప్పింది కొద్దిగా బేసిక్స్. F0, F solve ఫంక్షన్స్ ని కొద్ది జాగ్రత్తగా వాడుకోకపోతే నెక్స్ట్ నుంచి ఏం చేయలేము. జాగ్రత్తగా వినండి. F0 ఫంక్షన్ యూజ్ చేసి ఈ ఫంక్షన్ కి జీరోస్ పెట్టాలి. జీరో ఆఫ్ ది ఫంక్షన్ పెట్టాలి. జీరో ఆఫ్ ది ఫంక్షన్ అంటే మీనింగ్ ఏంటి? ఆల్మోస్ట్ లైక్ రూట్స్. ఇప్పుడు దీని రూట్ అని చెప్పండి x స్క్వేర్ మైనస్ 1. మీకే తెలిసిన ఆన్సర్ సింపుల్. x స్క్వేర్ మైనస్ 1 ఈక్వల్ టు 0 చేసారు. x స్క్వేర్ ఈక్వల్ 1 వస్తుంది, x ఈక్వల్ టు ప్లస్ ఆర్ మైనస్ 1 వస్తుంది. సో ఆల్మోస్ట్ ఆన్సర్ తెలుసు, బట్ ఎఫ్ సాల్వ్ యూజ్ చేసి మనం ఆన్సర్ తెప్పించాలి. ఎఫ్ సాల్వ్ సింటాక్స్ వాడాలి. ఎలా వాడాలో చూడండి. సో ఎఫ్ y of x is equal to x square minus 1. If I want to use f0, I have to define my own function, because The syntax of F0 says is F0 single quoted the function which you want to use, and then the guess or the nearest value where you want to find. So whenever you want to define any functions, there is a syntax called, for user defined functions, there is a syntax called function function square brace variables, that's called input arguments, equal to, and the function name which I want to give, and normal parentheses, and the input arguments. Here are the output arguments. So here are the output arguments, here are the input arguments. So these will be in normal parentheses, these will be in the square braces, and this will be a keyword called function. This will be the function name. And most important thing is when you define user defined function, this is user defined, not inbuilt defined. Inbuilt already we know F0, Fsolve, polyfit, polyval, all are inbuilt. Now I am defining my own function. If I want to define my own function, what is the syntax to follow is function, open a square brace, write the output arguments, close it, write the function name, open a normal parenthesis, write the input argument. Now here when you give a function name, the most important point is the function name should be same as the file name. Very important point. The function name should be same as the file name. ఫైల్ నేమ్ మీరు దేంతో సేవ్ చేస్తున్నారో అదే ఫంక్షన్ నేమ్ ఇవ్వాలి. ఇది చేయకపోతే ఫైల్ రన్ కాదు. So this file name should be same as the function name. Keep in the mind, I am going to the same problem. Now look at the problem. Now I defined a function. So what is the syntax I told you? Function, open a square brace. If more variables are there, open a square brace. If single variable is there, no need. I just use one output variable as y because y is my output variable. Because y is output variable means my function is output variable. These are the input function. So I defined as output variable as y equal to, I had to give function name. I just given any function name, something like my function I given. Just given function name as my function, normal parenthesis, input variable as x because function is in the form of x square, x cube, something else. So in the form of x. Now after defining, I should write what is the function he has given. The function he has given is y is equal to x square minus 1. So y is equal to x square. In MATLAB, square is power. Just keep aside. That is one part of the program. Now second part of the program is you should run this file. So you have to open one more M file. So open in the next command window one more M file. Fine. And use the syntax of F0. So F0 single quoted. What is the function name I have given? My function, comma. I have to give some guess. Any guess you can give. Nearest to the answer. If you know, you can give. If you don't know, you give any value. Because I already know answer for this problem is 1. So nearer to 1, I have given some 3. If you don't know the answer, you can give any initial guess. What is the problem if you give any random value? It will take a little bit more time because it has to concurrently use the trial and error method. So if you give nearer to the answer, in very less time it conquers, solves by trial and error method, which are the numerical method I defined for that, then it gives the answer. So F0 single quoted my function comma 3. So I given a guess of 3. Now this function which I use is called running file, and this run file should be saved with the same function. So if I run it, I'll get answer as 1. Automatically, if I run it, I'll get answer as 1 because I already know the answer. So remember, when you are going for user defined functions, always open two M files. One M file for your defined function, another M file for your solution of using inbuilt function. That's called run file. So this is your run file, this is your as usual file. So you have to open two M files. Clear? So ask it to find y equal to sine of x using f solve. At x equal to 3, he has itself given. He want answer nearer to the 3. So f0. Simply I have used. Okay. So you can solve. We will solve some of the problems in the lab itself. So don't confuse. Just for the briefing, I am telling the function how to use, how to open. But there should be hands-on experience. Unless and otherwise you put on the hands on the keyboard and mouse, you can't get all these things. You have to. So from the next week onwards, you'll be given one system for everyone. Every user one system will be there, and you will start from the basics. Okay, don't worry. Now let us look at the another problem. Solve the system of linear equations given below using MATLAB. So there are some linear equations as given. Something 3.5u plus 2v equal to 5 minus 1.5u plus 2.8v minus 2.v 3v. So when a system of linear equations given, how to solve? In mathematics, how we will solve? Very simple. When system of linear equations given, in mathematics, simple matrix inversion method is there. Matrix inversion method, you know, adjoint by determinant A, you will get A inverse. A inverse is equal to x. You know that x equal to A inverse B. Only thing is you have to write the A and B such that x will be A inverse B. So how to write matrix A, matrix B? Coefficients. A is the coefficient of the equations, B will be the coefficients of the extreme side part. So A, so I am writing A. So what are A, you tell me? 3.5, 2, and there is no coefficient. So 3.5, 2, there is no coefficient, I kept 0. Semicolon. Minus 1.5, 1 point. Semicolon. 0 because there is no coefficient of u variable. Minus 2.5. So A is defined. Now what is B? 5 minus 1, 2. Now what is X? A inverse B. A inverse B. Simple. A inverse B. Inverse of A into B. Inverse of A into B. How to find inverse? INV. Because for inverse MATLAB we have a function called INV. So INV of A into B will give you the answer. So how many equations may be given? No issue. Just write the equations in the form of A and B. A will be the coefficient matrix, B will be the extreme constants, right hand side constants. Find out A into B, A inverse into B. Now this is solving a system of equations which are non-linear. Look at the equations, they are not linear. These are linear. You see, 2A minus B minus e power minus A. 2B minus A, e power minus B. Exponential terms, sine, trigonometric functions, logarithmic functions. That means non-linear equations. So for nonlinear equations, I told you, that's all. Go back. I told you for nonlinear equations, you can use fsolve. Okay. Now, before going to use fsolve, the most efficient way for writing the equations in MATLAB is writing in terms of only one variable. Though the number of variables are more, but always I will write in a single variable. That's very efficient way of entering the data in the MATLAB. So here, how many variables are there? Two variables, A and B. But I will write it in only one variable. Just look at it. I just taken a variable called x. I defined as x of 1, that is the first column vector as A, and x of 2, that is second column vector as B. So I represented these equations in x of 1 and x of 2 only. So that when I press enter, x value will be showed. The first column of x will be my variable called A, and second column will be the variable called B. Just see how I entered. So whenever I'm using fsolve or f0, I have to go for two M files. I told you. So open one M file for function definition. Open another M file that is called running M file. That where you define your fsolve. So I am just opening first user defined function. So one M file I open function something output variable equal to some function name. I given some function name as example because this is an example problem. Example 1.51. So that's why I given some example as a function name and variable as x. Now I have to write the equations, the second part. How I will write the function is equal to, now I defined a as x of 1. So 2 into x of 1 minus b will be x of 2 minus e means exp. Exp of a is x of 1. Minus is there, minus of x of 1. So this is my first equation, semicolon. Now second equation, 2b, 2 into x of 2, minus a, minus x of 1, minus e power x, exp of. So this file will be closed. Now open another M file. So write fsolve, because you have to use fsolve. So fsolve. What is the function name? Example 1.5. So single quoted example 1.5 comma the guess, because I have to give the guess, because f0 fsolve anything for iterations to run I have to give a starting value. So the starting value is something x naught. I have given the x naught here. X naught equal to minus 5 minus 5. That means a guess for a as minus 5, a guess for b as minus 5. That's all. When I run it, I'll got answers as 0.56, 0.756. That means the value of a is minus 0.56, value of b is minus 0.56, plus 0.56. So these are the system of nonlinear equations. In brief, I am telling you how to use system of nonlinear equations. Start with two M files. First M file define function, write the functions which are given, because the nonlinear equations always represented in only single variable. For example, here three equations are there. Write x of 1, x of 2, x of 3. Five equations, x of 1 to x of 5. Every equation writing you put semicolon, because these all comes under the single function. So first equation semicolon, second equation semicolon, third equation semicolon. After finishing everything, you close it with the vector notation. That's all. So you save it, leave it. Then open another M file that's called running file. And write whatever the function you are using. You are using F0 or Fsolve, whatever may be. Write it. And follow the syntax. Understood? We will solve. Just look at this problem. Simple mass transfer problem. There will be some two columns. So there is certain flow rates here, certain flow rates here, and read the problem. Note it down. Note down. Let us check without using MATLAB how you will solve the problem. Let me check that. Note it down. For the following comparison system, we know the inlet mass flow rate in kg per hour and the mass fraction of each species in the inlet stream 1 and each outlet streams 2, 4 and 5. We want to calculate the unknown mass flow rates of each outlet stream. So the inlet stream is flow rate F is equal to 10. There are three components A, B, C. The mass fractions I have given 20%, 60%, 20%. When it is fed to first column, the 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 flow rate of the top fractions are F1, which is question mark, we don't know, and the components are ABC has given from the top, and from the bottom from the column 1 fed to column 2, and from the column 2 again top flow rate F2 is not known, but fractions are known, and the bottom fraction from the second column F3 again not known, but the fractions of ABC are known. So we want to find out F1, F2, F3. That's one of the question. First, let us solve physically, then we will learn using MATLAB. How do you solve physically? A problem. There are two columns given. In the first column, there is certain field rate. The mass fractions are ABC given. Now, when we set to first column, only the top fraction has unknown. Bottom fraction fed to second column. Again, in the bottom fraction, the top fraction flow rate unknown, bottom fraction flow rate unknown, but the mass fractions are available. How do we solve? Kaushik, how will you solve physically? That's all. Very simple. You might have studied in process calculation. Mass balance. What is mass density? What is mass out? It is simple mass balance. Is it not a simple mass balance? Once you do mass balance, then you will have some idea how we will crack the problem. So, what is the total mass balance? Is it not F total is equal to summing of all the F's? Because what we fed will come out. Fine. And if I keep some mass balance for composition wise, you just check. I have written here. See, I given F1 as some X1, F2 as some X2, F3 as some X3. I have written here mass balance. See, 0.04 X1. What is 0.04 X1? 0.54 X2. 0.23 X3. This means I am writing for mass fraction of A. Component A, I am writing mass balance. For example, A, 4% means 0.04. If I assume this as X1, so 0.04 into X1 plus same component A, 0.54 into X2, same component A, 0.26 into X3. This should be equal to what is A in fact in 0.2 into the value here is 10. It's not my simple how much fraction of A entered and what is coming out of A from all the things. Similarly, what is balance for B? Balance for B 0.93 into something X1, 0.24 into X2, 0 into X3 should be equal to what is B here? 0.6 into what is the flow rate that is entering. Similarly, I can go for component C balance. Now just check out how many equations you got, how many unknowns are there. So all are linear only. Understand? Linear only. For linear equations, you know matrix inversion method. What do you want? Simple. You know for linear equations how to solve. That's all. See, I have written in the form of matrix. I have solved it. So the problem may look like a bigger thing. Only thing is I should know, understand. I should go for mass balance. What is flow entering? What is flow out? What are my fractions in? What are my fractions out? So for every component, I have written mass balance. I didn't go for component C. Just check here. Why I didn't go? Because already I got to. One more I know. X1 plus X2 plus X3 equal to 10. Because my flow rate is 10. So 3 equations, 3 unknowns. Even if I go for the writing component C, it does not matter. I'll get the answers. 3 equations, 3 unknowns. సో నాకు కావాల్సింది ఏంటి ప్రాబ్లమ్ చూడడానికి పెద్దగా కనిపించవచ్చు మాస్ బ్యాలెన్స్ వేయడం నేర్చుకోవాలి నా మాస్ ఎంత ఎంటర్ అవుతుంది ఎంత బయటకు వస్తుంది నా ఫ్లో రేట్స్ ఎంత వెళ్తున్నాయి ఎంత బయటకు వస్తున్నాయి 10 ఫ్లో రేట్ వెళ్తుంది 10 kg per hour ఏదో ఇచ్చాడు 10 kg per hour వెళ్తుంది బయటకు వచ్చేవన్నీ ఫ్లో రేట్స్ కలుపుకుంటే ఇన్ ఫ్లో రేట్ తో ఈక్వల్ అవ్వాలి కదా ఒక బ్యాలెన్స్ అలాగే ప్రతి కాంపోనెంట్ కి బ్యాలెన్స్ చేశాను ఏ ఇక్కడ ఎంత ఇక్కడ ఏ ఎంత ఇక్కడ ఏ ఎంత ఇక్కడ ఏ ఎంత సో ఎప్పుడైతే లీనియర్ ఈక్వేషన్స్ వచ్చేసాయో మ్యాట్రిక్స్ ఇన్వర్స్ మెథడ్ ఇప్పుడే మాట్లాడుకున్నాం రైట్ ఎవ్రీథింగ్ ఇన్ ద ఫార్మ్ ఆఫ్ ఏ అండ్ బి సో దట్ యువర్ ఆన్సర్ x ఈక్వల్ టు ఏ ఇన్వర్స్ బి సో ప్రాబ్లం చూడడానికి టఫ్గా కనిపించవచ్చు కొంచెం సేపు మనం ఆలోచించి పేషెన్స్గా ఉన్నామంటే ఆటోమేటిక్గా సొల్యూషన్ అవుతుంది సో నేను డైరెక్ట్గా ఈక్వేషన్స్ ఇచ్చేసాను అనుకోండి కొంచెంసేపు ఆలోచిద్దాం. డైరెక్ట్గా ఈక్వెన్స్ ఇచ్చేసాను అనుకోండి, మీకు ఇది తెలుసు సింపుల్గా. ఏముంది, ఈ కోఎఫిషియన్స్ అన్నింటినీ ఏలో రాసుకోవడము, అవతల రైట్ సైడ్ కోఎఫిషియన్స్ బీలో రాసుకోవడము, ఎక్స్ ఈక్వల్ ఎన్ఎస్ చేయడం. ఇది నేను ఇవ్వకుండా ఇలా ఇచ్చాను అనుకోండి, హ్యాండ్స్ అప్. ఎందుకంటే మనకి మాస్ బ్యాలెన్స్ చేయడం రాదు, కాంపోనెంట్ బ్యాలెన్స్ చేయడం రాదు, ఎనర్జీ బ్యాలెన్స్ చేయడం రాదు. ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ ఫినామినా చదువుతున్నాం 4.1లో కదా. ట్రాన్స్పోర్ట్ ఫినామినా ఇవన్నీ కావాలి కదా. హీట్ బ్యాలెన్స్ చేయాలి, మాస్ బ్యాలెన్స్, ఎనర్జీ బ్యాలెన్స్, అన్ని ట్రాన్స్పోర్ట్స్ మనం మాట్లాడతాం ట్రాన్స్పోర్ట్ ఫినామినాలో. ఫస్ట్ ప్రాబ్లం సాల్వ్ చేస్తారా? ఫాలింగ్ ఫిల్మ్ ట్రాన్స్పోర్ట్ ఫినామినాలో వేసుంటారు కదా బ్యాలెన్స్ ఈక్వేషన్. టీపీ స్టార్ట్ అయింది కదా, ట్రాన్స్పోర్ట్ ఫినామినా స్టార్ట్ అయింది కదా. సో ఫాలింగ్ ఫిల్మ్ లిక్విడ్కి బ్యాలెన్స్ వేస్తుంటారు కదా. సో షియర్ స్ట్రెస్ కట్టి ఉంటారు కదా, వెలాసిటీ గ్రేడియంట్ కట్టి ఉంటారు కదా, ప్రొఫైల్ ఎలా వచ్చిందో చూసుంటారు కదా. సో మనం మాస్ బ్యాలెన్స్ ఎలా వేయాలో నేర్చుకున్నాం అనుకోండి, సింపుల్. చెప్తున్నా, ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ ఫినామినా మంచి ఇంపార్టెంట్ కోర్సు, చాలా మంచి కోర్సు, చాలా టఫ్ కోర్స్ కూడా. ఎండ్ ఎగ్జామ్లో క్వశ్చన్స్ అన్ని ప్రాబ్లమ్సే వస్తాయి. ఇంకా ఆప్టిమేషన్లో 1-2 థియరీ రావచ్చు, కానీ టీపీలో ఒక్క థియరీ కూడా రాదు. దయచేసి మైండ్లో పెట్టుకోండి. ప్రతి ప్రాబ్లము టెక్స్ట్ బుక్లో, టెక్స్ట్ బుక్లో ఉన్న ఎక్సైజ్ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ అన్ని మీరు చేయాల్సిందే, ఆప్షన్ లేదు. టెక్స్ట్ బుక్ చూసారా? టెక్స్ట్ బుక్లో ఎక్సైజ్ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ ఎన్ని టైప్స్ ఉంటాయో తెలుసా మీకు? క్లాసిఫికేషన్స్ ఆఫ్ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ ఉంటాయి అక్కడ, ఏబిసిడిఈ. ఈ ఈజ్ ద టఫెస్ట్ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్, మీరు చెక్ చేసుకోండి. మనకి ఈ రాదు ఎగ్జామ్లో, ఏబిలోనే వస్తాయి. సి కూడా ఇవ్వడు, ఎందుకంటే సి ఇస్తే టైం ఎక్కువ పడుతుంది డెరివేషన్కి. మీరు టీపీ టెక్స్ట్ బుక్ ఓపెన్ చేస్తే 4 టైప్స్ ఆఫ్ క్లాసిఫికేషన్ ఆఫ్ ద ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ హీ హాస్ ఫ్రేమ్డ్. 3 ఆథర్స్ వాళ్ళు టీపీకి, లైట్ ఫుట్. సో 3 ఆథర్స్ చేసిన బుక్ అది. సో ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ క్లాసిఫికేషన్ కూడా ఉంటుంది. టఫ్ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్కి వెళ్ళరు, జస్ట్ క్లాసిఫికేషన్ ఏబిలోంచే ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ వస్తాయి. ఏబి చేస్తే చాలు. మీరు ఎక్సైజ్లో ప్రతి చాప్టర్లో ఏబి ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ అన్ని సాల్వ్ చేయాలి. మీరు నెట్లో కూడా సొల్యూషన్ ఆఫ్ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ దొరుకుతాయి, మనము సాల్వ్ చేయాలి అంతే కూర్చొని. అట్లీస్ట్ దొరికిన సొల్యూషన్ వేసుకొని ఈక్వేషన్ ఎలా వచ్చింది, ఈ మ్యాథమెటికల్ ఈక్వేషన్ ఎలా సాల్వ్ చేస్తారో తెలుసుకుంటే చాలు. సో నేను ఇక్కడ వేసింది అదే, మాస్ బ్యాలెన్స్ ఒక్కటే వేసాను, నేను ఏమి ఎక్స్ట్రా చేయలే. ఓకే ఫైన్, అర్థమైందా? మరిది సో నేను ఇట్లాంటివి ఇస్తాను ఎగ్జామ్లో ఫట్. సో మనం బాగా ఒకటి నేర్చుకున్నాం అనుకోండి, బ్యాలెన్స్ ఎలా వేయడము, అది మాస్ బ్యాలెన్స్ కావచ్చు, ఎనర్జీ బ్యాలెన్స్ కావచ్చు, మొమెంటం బ్యాలెన్స్ కావచ్చు, వేయడం నేర్చుకున్నాం అనుకోండి, ఏ ప్రాబ్లమ్ సాల్వ్ చేయొచ్చు. సో ఇట్లాంటివి నేను చాలా ఇస్తూ ఉంటాను. నేను చూపించాను, లేదు నేను ఎగ్జామ్లు ఇవ్వాలి కదా, ఇమ్మన్నా ఇస్తాను. ఇదే చేసుకున్నానన్నా పర్లేదు, ఎగ్జామ్లో అది ఇవ్వను. సో వేపర్ లిక్విడ్ ప్రాబ్లం. సో I took always the problems from thermodynamics, mass transfer, reaction kinetics. బికాస్ డిఫరెంట్ కేటగిరీస్ తీసుకుంటే మనం ఎట్లా వాడాలని మనకు ఐడియా వస్తుంది. కెమ్ క్లీనింగ్ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ని మనం సిమ్యులేట్ ఎలా చేయాలి, xylene, styrene, benzene, very important industrial problem this is. But this you can frame it in very simple in MATLAB. ఏం లేదు, కాంపనెంట్స్ 4 ఉన్నాయి, ఫీడ్ ఫ్లో రేట్స్ ఉన్నాయి, బ్యాలెన్స్ చేసుకుంటాము, ఈక్వేషన్స్ వస్తాయి, అన్ని లీనియర్ ఈక్వేషన్స్, మ్యాట్రిక్స్ ఇన్వర్స్ మెథడ్ వేయండి. ఆ ఈక్వేషన్స్ ఫ్రేమ్ చేసేంత వరకే మీకు టఫ్గా ఉంటుంది. ఒక్కసారి ఈక్వేషన్స్ ఫ్రేమ్ చేసిన తర్వాత ఏముంది, ఏని బీని రాసుకోవడము, ఇన్వర్స్ కొట్టడము. ఆ ఇన్వర్స్ కూడా మీరు చేయాల్సిన అవసరం, ఐఎన్వి కూడా చాలా అదే అవుతుంది మ్యాట్లాబ్లో. అది మీరు కష్టపడింది ఏం లేదు, మీ మైండ్ ఉపయోగించాల్సిందల్లా ఈక్వేషన్స్ ఎలా ఫ్రేమ్ చేయాలి. దీనికి ఓపిక్గా ఒకసారి కూర్చొని బ్యాలెన్స్ ఎలా వేయాలో నేర్చుకోవాలి. పని రాదు, ఎవడొస్తుందో వాడి దగ్గర కూర్చోవడం, వాడితో చెప్పించుకోవడము. ఓసారి చెప్పించుకుంటే చాలు కదా, అయిపోయి. సో ఇక్కడికి ఆపుతున్నాను, యాక్చువల్గా టెస్ట్ పెడదాం అనుకున్నాను, కానీ మీకు హ్యాండ్స్ ఆన్ ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ లేకుండా నేను టెస్ట్ పెట్టి కూడా నాకేమి అనాలిసిస్ రాదు. ఆహా, ఎంత హ్యాపీ కదా.